Hello everyone and welcome back to a new series. In this series we'll be making an advanced egg hatching system, and before we start this tutorial I just want to let you guys know that I won't be doing the standard simulator series anymore. I'll be making a new one and I'll stop doing the FNF series, but we will continue the FPS series and this egg hatching system series too. Now this egg hatching system will be available on my Patreon for $10. You have access to all of my tutorial files, and including this egg system that we'll be making in this series. With that being said, let's start. So what we're going to be starting with is clearing our output and setting it to just display the errors, warning, information, and we're going to disable information and system. Now this, you don't have to do this, I just like doing it because I don't really want to have those logs and everything. And what we're going to be starting with is publishing this place. So we'll rename this to egg hatching system video, and we're going to be saving it. So now that it's saved, you're gonna go to Home, Game Settings, Security, and Enable Studio Access to API Services. Now this will be useful when saving our pets, and yeah, let's start. So what I'm going to start with is by getting an egg mesh. So I'm going to go on meshes, and I'm going to look for egg. And now we have a random egg that we'll find, so I think I'm gonna go with any egg really, but I'm just going to go with an egg I made a while ago. So let's just look for egg. Okay, so I have this egg right here. I also give it a little stroke. This is actually, never mind. I'm just going to be using this egg. We're gonna put it right here. We're gonna change the material to smooth plastic. This is just what I'm doing right now, or let's make it neon. Why not? And I'm also going to change the color to something like a nice orange. Okay, so now we have a cool looking egg. Now we're gonna start by coding this egg to work. So let's say we have a little podium. Let's just get a little podium to make our egg. So let's change this to 5,3,2,5, and now we have this, and we're gonna put it like that, and we will copy its position. I'm just making the simple egg podium right now, so just ignore what I'm doing. You don't have to do this. I'm just going to be doing that so I can show you what a full egg podium will look like and how to make this work with a full egg podium. So let's say this is our podium. I know it looks really bad, but who cares really. Okay, so I'm gonna have it at red. Maybe something like that. And I'm going to be putting it right here. So I'm going to move it here and make sure it's anchored. So model anchor, and I'm also going to make sure that it's the right size. So I think that's a bit too small, so I'm going to make it a bit bigger. And now we have our egg podium. Now what we're going to be doing is grouping everything here. And then by the way, I grouped the part and the egg, and just right click on them or press Ctrl G to group. Now I'm going to rename this to anything, so let's rename it to lava egg, and we're gonna separate the egg mesh for it from everything. So you're gonna select your egg mesh or whatever you have as an egg. Let's say my egg mesh has some I don't know, let's say it has this thing right here. Let's say it's not just one part. So I'm going to just rotate this like that, put it down, and I'm going to scale it down. I'm going to copy the position of the egg and paste it to the position of the part that I just got. Now let's say this is my egg. So it's 2 parts. This can be any number of parts. So what we're going to be doing is putting this inside of the lava egg model that we just created, and you're going to select your egg mesh, not the podium, not the rest of the egg, just what you want to display when the player is hatching the egg, and we're going to select both of them. And then you're going to right click, go group, and rename this to egg underscore model. Now what we're going to be doing is selecting the main egg mesh and rename this to main mesh or anything, and you're going to select the egg model, go to primary part, set it to the main mesh. Or actually, let's create a hitbox for this. So we're going to add a part to this, and it doesn't have to be the exact size. This is just random work. So I'm just going to make it like that, and like that. This is just used to determine where is the front surface. So you're gonna go to this little thing over here. I think it's in beta features. So if you go to file, beta features, I think it should be here, or I think it's already there. Really sorry about that. I'm not really too sure about. I think it's not a beta feature anymore, but if it is, let me know in the comments. So what we're going to be doing is renaming this part to hitbox, and then we'll go to this little thing over here, press it while selecting the hitbox, and rotate it to, well, the front surface of the egg. Now I'm going to change the transparency to 1 and make sure it's anchored, and then I'm going to make sure that the can collide property is set to false, and then you're gonna make sure that, I think that's it, yes. So I'm going to select my main mesh and basically all of these and make them anchored and collidable, except for the hitbox. This is up to you if you don't want everything to be collidable, but this is just how I like it. So now we're gonna select our egg model, set the primary part to the hitbox. Now what we'll be doing is adding a weld to the hitbox. Now you're gonna put part 0 to the hitbox and part 1 to the actually we're gonna do this from a script, or never mind, let's just put it to this. You're gonna weld each part of the egg to the hitbox. Make sure you're doing this on the egg model, not the podium. Duplicate it again, and we're gonna set part 0 to the hitbox and part 1 to the other part. Now we have everything welded. We're gonna make sure that everything's unanchored besides the hitbox. Now if you go ahead and play the game, you should see that, also this error is from a plugin, so ignore it, that everything seems to be anchored because it's welded to the anchored part. Alright, so that should be working now. Let me just clear out the output. And what we're going to be doing is create a folder inside of the workspace. So create a folder and rename it to eggs. And we're going to put the lava egg inside of our eggs folder. Now I'm going to make a quick Leaderstats script. So this will be just Leaderstats. And we're gonna, in here, we're gonna just get the player's service. Now this is very optional. You don't have to do this, but it's just for Leaderstats. Is equal to game.get service Leaderstats. players. Sorry about that. Now we're gonna do players.player added colon connect function, or actually let's do a function for that. Local function player added. We're gonna get the PLR and we're gonna create some leader stats. Local leader stats is equal to instance dot new folder. Now we're gonna do leader stats dot name is equal to leader stats. Now leader stats dot parent is equal to PLR, and then local coins is equal to instance dot new, and we're gonna create an int value. Coins dot name is equal to coins, and coins dot parent is equal to leader stats, and then we're gonna set the value to 0 or maybe to 500, and then we're gonna do players.player added colon connect function colon connect player added, and then all I'm gonna be doing is looping through all of the players in next players colon get players. I think it's players colon get players. Yes, I spelled it right. Do, and quartine dot wrap and player added. Now I did not explain this, but this is just because this is just for leader stats, so I'm not gonna bother explaining what I'm doing here. You should already know how to do this by now, because this is an advanced scripting tutorial. And now we have our leader stats script done. So if I just go ahead and play the game, you should see that we have some leader stats up here after 2 seconds. And as you can see, we have our coins and it's set to 500. Now what I'm going to be doing is adding a module script to replicated storage and rename this to egg underscore system or egg underscore handler. And then what we'll be doing is select our lava egg and add an int value for the price, or maybe a string value or an int value. I wanted to do a string value because an int value can't handle numbers greater than 2q9.2 qi or qa, I don't really remember, and as you can see it always set to a maximum number, but this is totally up to you. I'm going to be using an int value. Let me check if I'm still recording. Yes. And we're going to rename this to price and set the value to, for example, 25. Now I'm going to have a string value for the currency, so what currency will it cost, and we're going to rename this to, we're going to set its value to coins because our currency is coins. Now we have our module. So firstly we're going to get the players, so local players is equal to game get service players. This might be useful. And local replicated storage is equal to game get service replicated storage, and local, I think that's it for our variables, and local that's it really. Okay, so now what we're going to be doing is select our hitbox, or we'll do that from a script. Let's rename this to egg underscore handler underscore server. Server. And what we're going to be doing is do local eggs is equal to workspace wait for child eggs. Now what we're going to be doing is creating a function, so local function setup egg, and we're gonna get the egg name. Okay, so local egg is equal to eggs and egg name. Okay, so what we're gonna be doing now is getting the, so we have the actual egg model. So egg, I think we're gonna do local proximity prompt is equal to instance.new, and we're gonna create a proximity prompt, and proximity prompt dot action text is equal to hatch, and then we're gonna do proximity prompt dot I think it's called I think it is, you know what, let's make this instead of having to do instance.new, we're gonna make it manually. So inside of our hitbox, we're gonna add a proximity prompt. Now this is not going to be our main proximity prompt, but I'll show you how this works. So you're gonna rename the action text to hatch, and then exclusivity to 1 globally, and we're gonna set the hold duration to, for example, 0.3 seconds, and the keyboard key code to E. You can put this to whatever you want. Max activation distance, I'm gonna keep it at 10. Object test will be the price, let's say 25. Parent hitbox style default, and I think that's it. Now we're gonna scroll down, and I think that's it. But I remember having a bug with the proximity prompt, but I think never mind. That should be working. So if you go ahead and play the game, you should see a proximity prompt. Well, it's not working. So let's see why. So we have our proximity prompt. I think it's because of the max activation distance, set it to 100, and nope. Maybe the requires line of sight. Yes, it's this. So what we're gonna be doing is disabling the requires line of sight function, property, and dragging this proximity prompt inside of the script, and we're gonna rename this to template proximity, and then go back to the egg handler, and what we're gonna be doing is do local proximity is equal to script dot template proximity clone. After cloning it, before cloning it, sorry, we're gonna do a variable for the hitbox. So local hitbox is equal to egg, and we're gonna get the egg model, and then we're gonna get our hitbox. So get the hitbox. Now after doing that, we're gonna be parenting the proximity to the hitbox. So proximity.parent is equal to hitbox, and then what we're gonna be doing before parenting it, sorry, we will set the proximity.action text is equal to hatch, and proximity dot I think it was object text, so object text is equal to, and egg colon find or price. Now we don't have this variable yet, but you'll see how this works. Price dot space, and then dot currency. Okay, now this might be confusing, but I'll show you how this works. So in here, we're gonna create a variable for the price. So we're gonna set that to the egg, find first child price dot value, and then local currency is equal currency is equal to egg, find first child currency. Now let's explain what we are doing right here. So we're getting the egg, which is so we are sending this function the egg name, and we are finding the actual egg model and getting the hitbox of the egg model, and then getting the price, and then cloning the template proximity and parenting it to the hitbox, and then we're setting the action text to hatch and the object text to the price for what currency, and then parenting it to the hitbox. Now if you play the game right now, nothing will happen, and I'll show you why. Now firstly, we're gonna put this inside of the module function. So function module dot setup egg, and now we're gonna add a script inside of server script service, and we're gonna rename it to server to egg underscore server or egg underscore server, and we're gonna rename this to egg underscore module server. So I think I'm going to rename this to egg underscore module server, and we're gonna rename this to egg underscore server, and then we're gonna require the module. So we're gonna get replicated storage, and we're gonna set that to replicated to game on get service replicated storage. Now we're gonna do local module or egg underscore module underscore server is equal to require and replicated storage, wait for child and egg underscore module server. Make sure you spell it right. And then we're gonna wait 3 seconds or maybe 5 seconds, and we're gonna loop through all of the eggs in the workspace. So for I, v in pairs workspace dot eggs get children do for I, v for I, egg in next, sorry, and we will do egg module dot and go back here and set up the egg, and we're gonna get the egg name, so egg dot name. Now if you go ahead and play the game, you should see the proximity prompt in each egg. It won't appear yet, but we're gonna wait for it, and we have an error. So attempt indexing to concatenate string with nail. Okay, so I see the error here. We forgot to add a dot value right here, and that should be working now. Let's see, and we have a problem. Find first child current. Oh, I spelled currency wrong. That should. I actually spelled currency wrong here. I can't believe it. Currency. Okay, now that should be working. Okay, so let's hope that we don't get an error again. And as you can see, it says 25 coins and it says hatch. Now if you hold it, nothing will happen. That's normal, and that's because we haven't told it to happen. So we're gonna do function module dot hatch egg, and we're not going to get any arguments yet, but I think this will return the PLR. I'm gonna get the PLR who hatched it and the egg name, so egg name. And then what we're gonna be doing is proximity dot triggered connect function. We're gonna get the PLR, and then we'll let me just clear out this output right now. So we're gonna do module.hatch egg, and we're gonna send the, or actually we're not going to do this from here. We're gonna return the proximity from here, return proximity, and in the server we'll do local proximity, because this will return the proximity, and proximity.triggered connect function, and the PLR, and egg underscore handler module dot hatch egg, and we're gonna send the PLR and egg dot name. Now let's see if this works by just printing out PLR dot name dot, and once is hatching dot egg name, and let's see if that works. Let's wait 5 seconds and let's trigger this, and as you can see it prints LiveSprog is hatching lava egg. Now let's fix this by putting a the lava egg and putting a space right here, and it should print LiveSprog is hatching the lava egg, and as you can see we are returning the proximity and calling the function from here. Now how can we make it so that it deducts it removes cache from the player's leader stats? So how can we get the currency and the price? Well, that's very simple. We're gonna do local egg model is equal to, I think we might send it from the function, but I don't really want to do that for some reason. So is equal to eggs and egg name. Okay, so after getting the egg name, what we're gonna be doing is basically do local price is equal to egg model dot price or confined first child price dot value, and copy that, paste it here, and local currency is equal to egg model confined first child currency dot value. Okay, so after doing that, all we have to do is remove the player's coins. So now we're going to create a server-side debound system so exploiters won't be able to hack, and that will be done by doing this. So, or actually we're going to do that from the other script. I'll show you how that will work, but for now we're going to be doing plr.leaderstats, and we're going to get the currency dot value minus equal to the price. Now if you go ahead and play the game, it should remove the price. So if I go ahead and hatch that, it removes 25 from my currency. But now what we're going to be doing is removing this print, because we don't really need it right now. But printing is more important than you might think, but we'll talk about that later. So we are deducting the leader stats. Now we're gonna get a simple debound system. Okay, so local result is equal to that. Now in here we're gonna return something. So for now we're gonna return nil, but I'll show you why. So if we have less than 500 coins, then 25 coins, it will still deduct our leader stats. So let's say we have 5 coins and we do that, we hash the egg, it says that we have minus 20 coins, and this is going to be fixed by doing if not if plr.leaderstats currency.val, copy that, paste it here, is greater or equal than price then. Now we're gonna control X that, cut that, and paste it here. Return, let's return true. Else, return false. Okay, so you might be wondering, what does all this stuff mean? So basically, because we are putting this out as a variable, this result will be whatever this returns. So if we return true, then we're gonna print. So in here we're gonna do if, just to show you that this works. If result is equal to if result then, or if result is equal to true, then print can hatch. Else print error. Now if you go ahead and play the game, let's say let's spawn ourselves with 5 coins. It should print error. So if you go ahead and hatch this, error, and if we get more coins, so 25, it should print can hash, and now it will print error. Now hopefully this makes you understand what returning is. And what we're going to be doing this is just deleting this for now, and then we will find a way to make a server-side cooldown from here. So this should be pretty simple. All we have to do is put a player added in here, or a player removing. So we're gonna get local players is equal to game conf get service players. And in here, instead of just putting a wait 5, we're gonna repeat. We're gonna wait until all of the eggs are loaded. So repeat wait 1 until workspace find first child eggs, and hashtag workspace find first child eggs get children is greater than 1, and that should be it. Now that should wait until all of the eggs are loaded into the game, and as you can see nothing happens. Okay, so what did I mess up here? Oh, is greater or equal to 1, sorry. Now that should be working now. As you can see, it works, but our leader stats are still not loaded, so we're gonna put this as a wait 1. And here's what we're gonna be doing right now. We're gonna have a player removing event right here. So players.player removing, connect function plr. Now this will return our player. And what we're gonna be doing here is so let's think of this. We're gonna have a variable up here. So local egg cooldowns is equal to an empty table. And if result is equal to true and not egg cooldowns and not egg cooldowns plr.name, then we would have to, okay, so in here we're gonna have a player added event. So game.players.player added connect function, and we're gonna get the player egg cooldowns plr.name is equal to false. Okay, so now we are inserting the cooldown to the table. Now we will print can hatch, and then we're gonna wait 5 and then do egg cooldowns plr.name is equal to false. Okay, so what does all of this mean? Well, before I say that, let me just do this. Okay, so we're gonna set that to true. I'll explain what this means in a second. So we're gonna copy all of that, else print or else if result is equal to false, and or let's just put an else and that's it. That's just way too confusing. So print cannot hatch. Now what does this player moving do? So we're gonna remove the cooldown each time the player is added. So if egg cooldowns plr.name, then egg cooldowns plr.name is equal to new. Or let's just do that and play the game. Now this is an advanced system. As you can see, if it will have to wait 5 seconds, and now we can hatch, and now we're gonna have to wait 5 seconds again. Now how does this work? Well, when the player joins the game, we're gonna create this, so it will look like, we're gonna create something that looks like this. So player, let's do Polaris. It will insert, for example, Polaris prog, and it will set that to false. And then it will insert, for example, if somebody else joins, let's just like, for example, random account. Let's do other, let's just do player is equal to false. Now it will do this. Each time a player is added, it will set that to false. And then each time they hatch the egg, we'll check if this is set to false, and then we're gonna set that to true. So this will be set to true when I hatch the egg, and then it will hatch. It will wait 5 seconds and then set this back to false. And then why did we have this player removing event? Well, this is for, let's say 1,000 players joined that server in 24 hours. So a player left, a player joined, another player left. Basically, in total, that server had 1,000 players. Well, we're gonna have 1,000 items in this table, and we don't want that. So every time a player removes, we're gonna find his tag right here, and we're gonna set that to null, which will basically remove it. And yeah, hopefully that makes you understand. Okay, so we have this simple cooldown thing in here, and I think this is it for today's tutorial. In the next tutorial, we're gonna make the actual egg hatch, and we'll display on the screen and shake and then hatch. And after that, we'll be making a rarity choosing system. And after doing that, we'll finally be coding the inventory, which is the hardest part, but I don't think it will be that big of a problem. So yeah, if this helped, make sure to subscribe. Also, this will be a very advanced egg system, so hopefully people will like it. Also, I wanted to show something. Let's say you have another egg. Let's rename this to ice egg. You don't have to do anything. Ice egg. Let's say this is going to be, for example, blue, or let's just make it a bit darker. Okay, let's say we have that, and we have a nice egg. If you go ahead and play the game, and let's configure it. Let's say the currency will be coins and the price will be 250. Look how easy it is to add new eggs. You don't have to do anything. So if I just go ahead and play the game, this will say hatch for 25 coins, and then this will say hatch 250 coins. And also, when we are currently hatching an egg, we cannot hatch the other egg at the same time. So each player has basically a unique cooldown for each thing. And yeah, that should be it for today's tutorial. If this helped, Please subscribe, like the video, and if you want to support me on Patreon, you can do that. And yeah, I'll see you all in the next tutorial. Bye.